Hi, everybody. I am Diana Mullins Atkinson. I have been a quilter and a fiber artist for well over 5 decades now. And here at Sew Uncommon, I have decided to put all of my efforts towards helping folks learn this beautiful art of quilting. Now, there are a lot of folks out there who can teach you how to quilt in a more traditional way, and I could do that. In fact, here on the YouTube channel, there are lots of videos about that you'll want to check out via your sewing machine, by hand, either way. But several years ago, I learned that a lot of my friends wanted to quilt, and the reason they didn't is that they didn't know how they could do it without having to sew and do it by hand. And so there is a way now, and that is with our embroidery machine. And it just so happened that all these lovely women had embroidery machines, and that's what they wanted to use to learn how to quilt. And so that's what we do here at Sew Uncommon. We are here so that anyone and everyone that wants to learn this lovely art form can do so. And we are showing you how via the embroidery machine, from piecing to finished quilting. So welcome, everyone. Welcome to all of our subscribers, old and new, and welcome to all of our guests that haven't subscribed yet. And please go ahead and subscribe, because by subscribing to the YouTube channel, you get notifications when new content comes out, like when I post to the community board, or when I post a new video or a new short video, those little clips less than a minute long. So you will get all of that information and be kept up to date. So click on the subscribe, the little bell, and you're all set to go. So we love having you all with us. Thank you for being a part of this community. It's a joy to get to meet some of you through questions and answers and things like that you send me, or comments that you leave. And next week, week 4, is our January live Q&A and intro to this month's full pattern that goes with our block of the month. But today we are going to specifically be talking about the edge-to-edge quilting design that I've created to go with this block and this pattern that you're going to see next Sunday. So today is the 22nd, I believe. Yes, the 22nd of January. And so I believe next Sunday is probably the 29th of January, if I counted on my fingers and toes the right way. And so please join us next Sunday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time here in the US for our live Q&A. Now, please send in your questions, post them in the comments, send them to me over at my website at sewuncommon.com. If you don't want to be named out loud, that's fine. Just let me know in your comment or in your email. Please say anonymous, and I'll be happy to do that for you. I will tell you, I've already gotten a good little collection of them, and some of them, like, all are around the same idea. So I'll be bundling some questions to talk about. But after I introduce the pattern for the entire month, then you will be able to start asking questions live as well. So if you don't get a chance to send them in early, don't worry, we're going to take them live as well next Sunday. And I look forward so much to seeing you all then. But let's get to this week, because I've created what I think is one of the cutest little edge-to-edge designs for this week. And it will go, be able to be used whether you are using your 4x4 hoop or your larger hoop. So if you're making the slightly smaller block or the bigger block. I think they actually turn out both the same size, but whether you're using that 4x4 set of instructions and files that you received or the larger, no problem. And remember that you can get this month's block of the month, the files, the instructions for your machine, all for free. Every month in 2023, the block of the month designs and the patterns are yours for free. So take them, because at the end of the year, they will go away, okay? They won't be out there forever for free. Then they'll be out there and they might cost a couple of dollars. So please get them while you can get them at no charge. And you can, of course, get those right at my website, sewuncommon.com. You'll see them for January's block of the month 2023. But let me share my screen with you, and let me flip over to my camera, because this is the block of the month. Now, I've done this all in bright colors. You may do it in any colors you want, which I explain in the instructions, but what you really need is a background color and two kind of contrasting colors. Or you could do two solids and one print, any way you like to do that. And you'll see more about that next week. This block I've named the game board block. And in last week 2's inspiration video, I tell you all about the inspiration for how I designed this block. So go take a look at that video as well. If you've already started on your game board block, would you let us know in the comments? Because I'd love to hear from you. And remember, I'm here now to answer any questions that you have as well. Just drop me a line, an email, or drop me a comment, either way. But this is the block for the month called Game Board, and you'll see the finished project and all next week. But this week, I want to show you, I thought I had it up here. Let me bring it up. Hang on, let me bring it up. The design I've created. Here we go. So because I called that game board, I have actually created this cute little game piece. I call it Let's Play a Game design. It is edge to edge. It has a beginning and it has an end that you can line up. But please remember, folks, go back and look at some of my edge to edge videos if you want. You don't have to get wrapped around the axle if you don't line up perfectly. Once things are on your quilt, you'll never know that things aren't exactly touching. I don't want you to get wrapped up in that idea when you do edge to edge, because I know that can be a barrier for some people because they have trouble matching right on the spot. I'll do a little quick video this week. I'll put that on my list to do a little shorts video that you'll want to look for about doing a quick way to line up those points if you do want to make sure they're touching and right on point. But I don't want you to be worried about that. But this one is called Let's Play a Game. As you can see, what I've done is I've created that, basically that little game piece that comes with just about every board game we've ever played, right? And that is our game piece for Let's Play a Game. Now, all of my designs for quilting and the embroidery are my original digitized designs. And what I love about these is you're actually getting my hand-drawn designs, right? These aren't computer generated. These come directly from my hands, and trust me, that's about as artistic as I get in some ways, is being able to do these on the computer. But it's super simple to do. It's a super easy design, and I think you're going to love it. But I don't want you to just look at the picture there. I want to take you back under the camera because I want to show you that design. Now, if you saw Friday, that was 2 days ago on Friday, if you saw the shorts video I did on edge to edge and doing a sample with thread colors on how to choose your thread, then you saw this because that's the exact little edge to edge piece I did. So I will tell you in a little more detail how I do this. When I'm working with a fabric, let's look at this beautiful fabric. Aren't there a lot of lovely colors in there? I really love that. When I'm doing, getting ready to do my quilting at the end, my finished quilting, I often take my focal print or my print that has the most colors in it. And what I do is I make myself, if I am able to get my quilting design into a 4x4 hoop, that's what I use because there's less fabric and batting and that sort of thing used. And I make myself a little strip so that I can get 3 different hoopings in. I start off, let me just bring up my, let's see. Let's bring up my regular hoop here. Oops, sorry about that. Oh, gosh, sorry. Oh, my goodness. Over we went. I've got this balanced on a Kimberbell box. Over we went. Oh, goodness. There we go. We're okay now. So what I like to do is be able to hoop one and then slide it and then slide my fabric and get 3 different hoopings in on one little strip here. And when I do that, what I do is I like to do one in a color that's really going to blend in. And there is one thread color I like to use for just about any fabric when I do that. It's the super light aqua. OESD creates a color like this one. This one is actually from Dime's Exquisite line. But I know that, like I said, OESD has a really light. If you are determined to use cotton thread in your embroidery machine, you can do that. Remember, my tip is after you do that, clean out your bobbin case, because even really great cotton thread will shed a little bit. And the cotton thread I use only with my embroidery machine and my sewing machine is Aurifil, because it's a really high quality, low lint thread. But I still clean my bobbin cases with that. You don't have to do it quite so much with polyester embroidery thread because it doesn't really shed. Either one will work beautifully, but I wanted to put that in there for all of our friends out there who are determined to use that cotton thread. Perfectly okay. But I know Aurifil has a really light aqua color like this, and it blends with everything. You can see on this fabric, I mean, it's practically the same exact color, right? It's just barely noticeable on there. And if you really want your quilting to blend into the background so that your beautiful piecing or your beautiful fabric is the mainstay, what really pops out, then use something like this that really blends. And this is always my go-to for quilting when I want that. Now, this second hooping right here of our Let's Play a Game design, I did in a beautiful variegated thread. For edge-to-edge quilting or even custom quilting, variegated thread is truly one of my absolute favorites. I have several spools of variegated that go with the color palettes that I like to use. One of our friends last week left a comment about the color palette that she likes to use, which is beautiful jewel tones and things like that. Gorgeous colors. Then I would find a variegated thread that goes with that color palette that I use the most. Then I know I'm always going to have a really nice one. Now, for variegated, when it's on solid fabric, it looks a little bit funny because all those highs and lows in the colors kind of disappear and pop away, so you can't really see the structure so much. But when it is on the printed fabric, it's just going to turn out beautifully. And it's also great if you use a really busy printed fabric as your backing fabric, because then you're not going to see the quilting at all. It'll look gorgeous. You'll really love it. So I chose this one. This one is by OESC. It's Isocord. You know that name, right? Isocord. And I love it because it has this purple color, the blue, that really light green, a lighter blue, just really basically the colors you see right there in my focal fabric. And so I always try out one in a variegated to kind of see what I like. And then I choose one that is one of the darker colors in my focal fabric. And for this one, I chose this beautiful kind of, it's really kind of a mid-range purple, but it is considered, I'd consider it a dark color compared to my variegated and my solid for sure. So I've done that one here. Now, once I have gone and stitched these out, I kind of trim it up a little bit. And the nice thing about this is I now have a sample of these three threads. And if this is the color palette I use a lot, then I can always use this to compare to any of my colors in my fabric color palette, because it's going to go with them, right? It's always going to go with them. Kind of like we talked about last week, when you use a paint chip, you get that light, that medium, and that dark. Same idea here, really. And so a lot of the colors I use are right in this piece of fabric. So I really know that this test piece here is going to go with a lot of the things that I quilt. And so I don't have to do these every single time I make a quilt. If I'm using a completely different color palette, then I will. And I save these as kind of my comparison pieces, because then what I do is I take my pieced block. Now I don't have a pieced block in this. Do I? No, I just have this piece right here for now, but I can take it and compare it and see what I really think I want to use. Now, again, if I want my thread to really sink in and go away, then I'm for sure going to use my Super Light Aqua go-to. I call it my go-to. If I want it to kind of blend and have all the colors in highs and lows, this will really blend well as well. But you're going to see those highs and lows a little bit more because somebody has already gone to the trouble of mixing and matching those beautiful thread colors for you. Then I would choose to use my variegated. if I want it to stand out a little bit more, if I want to bring my quilting a little bit more to the forefront and be a little bit more one of the stars of the show instead of just the supporting cast member, as we say in the theater, then I would use my darker purple here for sure on this, right? I wouldn't really use a dark blue on here as there's a lot of dark blue in here, but there's enough purple in here that this dark purple is going to show up beautifully on that particular fabric. So you tell me in the comments, please, with this fabric, which one of these threads would you like to use? Would you use the dark? Would you use the variegated? Or would you use the light that's really going to blend in? I'd love to know your choice. And it can be different every time you make a quilt. As I said, I tend to lean towards this because when I do something that is really highly pieced, meaning there's lots of pieces in there of fabric, I want that to show up. And so I tend to have my quilting really be that supporting player. But that's my choice. That might not be your choice. You might say, you know what, Diana, I really want my quilting to be the star of the show. I want people to see that cute little game piece design. So if you do, then you're going to choose a dark. If you want kind of that mid-range, go ahead and use that variegated. But I'd love to know from you what you would use for that fabric, or these can actually work with this fabric that I've used here. Again, this is just going to blend. It just blends beautifully with all kinds of colors. This would work. This variegated would still work nicely. It's got the purples. It's got the little bits of pinks and greens and things in here. I would still use that on this for sure. And that purple, again, that would be beautiful with it. Now, on this particular block with these particular colors, this purple is definitely going to be more in the background on my darker purple parts of my block, but it will really pop out everywhere else. So that would even give you a slightly different look if you want. So it's always your choice, but those are my tips when I'm choosing my thread for either my edge to edge or my custom. And this is this week's edge to edge design. It is a Sew in Common original by myself called Let's Play a Game. Now let's go back to our main screen and let's remove our shared screen. There we go. So the edge to edge design for Let's Play a Game can be found at my website, and it is $2 for the design. And it's your design forever. I will tell you that if you own any dime software, from their free embroidery tool shed to any of their regular software designs, this design that I've created can be resized within that software really rather easily. And I have some videos here on YouTube that show you how to do that kind of resizing. So if you're interested in that, please take a look at that. If you have other software that you can resize and it will regenerate your stitches, it won't just stretch your stitches, then you should be able to do that as well. You should be able to resize this design 10 to 15-ish% without any problems, even if you don't have software. If you want to do it right on your embroidery machine, that should be absolutely fine. If you want to go bigger than that, then you would really probably want to go and check out Dime's free software called their embroidery tool shed. It's a very, very basic editing software, but the one nice thing you can do I have that up here? I used to keep that on here, but I think I've taken it off. Yeah, I've taken it off. But it's designsandmachineembroidery.com, dzgns.com. It is their embroidery tool shed. It's completely free, and that will allow you to resize this to any size block you want, because what you're purchasing for the $2 is this 4x4 block design. Okay, and just the one, because that's all you need for this month's project that we're going to meet next week. I bet some of you might have figured out what next week's project is, because, you know, I've been talking about games and things like that. So if you think you know, go ahead and pop a comment in, because I'd like to see what you think next week's finished project is going to be. But this month, if I can just kind of review a little bit, this month we've really been talking about the most basic block in quilting. Let me grab my little sample over here. There we go. We have been talking about the most simple block, the most basic block, really, other than just a solid square, that we use in quilting. And with this block, you can create full-size quilts. There are tons of patterns. And of course, I'm talking about the half square triangle. You can make them little and big. You can make them medium. And you can make all kinds of quilt designs. So when you pick up your free pattern for this month's block called Game Board, then you have a half square triangle in a few different sizes, and you can use that same file to create literally hundreds of quilts on your embroidery machine. And so this month is very simple. We're just talking about very basics. That's also why this month's quilting design, Let's Play a Game, is also a very simple edge-to-edge design. Now, when we start into February, we're going to up the ante just a little bit. So I hope you're enjoying this month. I love hearing from you. So don't forget to leave comments, send me emails and all, like some of you are. I really love hearing from you. You guys are great. And you're all so creative. You have like your own ideas about what you would do with things and colors that we'd use. And I love that, because believe me, you guys inspire me as well. Because after doing this for as long as I have, sometimes I need a little inspiration too, and you guys do that. So that's why everything is simple this month. That's why the project next week is a simple project, something that you could probably do easily in just a few days if you have a few days at home to sit down and work through it, because all you're doing is making half square triangles on your embroidery machine. And I told you in week 1 that by the end of this month, you are going to be an absolute pro at making a half square triangle with your embroidery machine. And you're not going to have to worry about ever figuring out the ins and outs of your half square triangle. You'll definitely be ready to move it up a notch, which we will be doing in the month of February. So don't forget to go to the website to pick up your free design package for this month's block game board. And go ahead now, if you like, and go pick up your edge-to-edge quilting design that will go with the project at the end of the month. And this edge-to-edge design is just $2. So I think that is pretty reasonable. I hope you think so too. And then you'll have that cute little design, and you can do it with other quilts, other designs. Maybe you want to make some mats or something, small mats to play games with the grandkids or your own kids, or maybe you and your family are big game people. It'll be perfect for all of those projects. Okay, everybody, I have one more thing that I want to talk to you about, and that is a giveaway. I can't always do them every week, but I love to share with you all when I can. And last week, I did a little shorts video on edge-to-edge quilting and the idea of learning how to do edge-to-edge with a panel. Panels do not need to be expensive. They do not need to be your highest quality fabric, because you can still end up making nice little wall hangings or turning them into bigger quilts if you want to. So for everyone that leaves a comment on today's video, next Sunday when we're live, I will announce who is going to win this giveaway. Let me go back into our camera. Actually, first of all, let me share it. I almost always forget to share it. There we go. So last week, I was at one of the big box craft stores. I don't have a problem with them. I know they do the best they can. And I love that sometimes they actually sell things that I wish I could find at my really nice fabric shops. Let's be honest. And with panels, because they don't have to be, they're not expensive, and because they don't have to be the best quality, I look for panels wherever I go. And I found this really cute one that says grow where you are planted. And it's all these beautiful flowers and things. You'll see it in the shorts video. Go back and look for it. It was one that I did just last weekend, I believe. Go check that out. It's a really cute one. And then this is only 36 by 42 inches. It's the perfect size panel to learn how to do edge-to-edge quilting on it. So grab that, you would quilt it. You could add borders and stuff if you wanted to, but just quilt it up, add a binding to it, and then make a really cute little wall hanging or something to throw over the back of the sofa like you see here. But someone will win this particular panel next Sunday during our live event. Now, in order to win next Sunday, you will have to have commented on today's video. So don't let the week go by. I'll try to remind you. But don't let the week go by. Put in your comments. Tell us what kind of thread you like to use when you quilt. Are you brand new to quilting and you have a question about doing it with your embroidery machine? Ask it. If you're having some concerns or you want some feedback on your block so far for January, ask those questions. That's what I'm here for, ladies and gentlemen. I love getting those questions and comments from you. And then one of you will have won this, and I will announce the winner next week and tell you how to get a hold of me so that I can send this panel out to you, which says grow where you are planted. And that's coming at a great time, because even though we're still in winter, we're going to be in spring before you know it, because next week we'll already be at the end of January. So let's flip back to our main camera now. And let me just again thank all of you who have subscribed. I just love having you as part of the community. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. And I know that there are a lot of viewers out there that are watching that haven't clicked the subscribe button yet, because I'll be honest, YouTube tells me like how many people have watched that weren't subscribers yet. And there's several of you. So please, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to the community and be a part of it, because we would certainly love to have you. Now, every week, you know that I end by telling you to sew life beautiful, because I truly believe you're all artists in your own right and you all make beautiful things. Well, my husband today, when we were out running some errands, made up a little joke. I'm really bad at these kind of jokes. It's a knock knock joke. So here we go. You can repeat back to yourself. So knock knock, who's there? So who? So life beautiful with Sew in Common. So that's our, I'm sorry, it's so corny. I can't believe I actually said it, but I told him that I would share his knock knock joke. And you might even hear that knock knock joke again sometime, because it is kind of cute. And he was really trying, he's always so supportive and all. So everybody go sew life beautiful. I can't wait to talk with all of you next week and to introduce you to the full pattern for this month's Sew in Common block of the month. Okay, until next time, everybody, sew life beautiful, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.